What's going on, guys? Welcome to your second stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and stimulus negotiation news report for Monday, October 12th. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend, and now we are just 22 days away from the upcoming election, which means everybody, and I repeat, everybody, should get ready for political games like they've never seen before. President Trump will be playing these political games just like he has already been doing. Joe Biden has Nancy Pelosi playing most of his political games for him against President Trump and the American people. Senators, Republicans in the House, and even state governors are all playing games as we get closer to the election. But what does that mean for the American people waiting for another additional stimulus package and hopefully a second stimulus check? It means we could be forced to wait. Many people have been saying a stimulus package will not come until after the election. Well, they have a number. They have a percentage of how many believe it will happen before, how many believe it will happen after. I'll bring that number to you in just a minute. First, President Trump is not happy. He has been listening to the Senate hearing this morning, and he had this to say on Twitter. This is his exact tweet. The Republicans are giving the Democrats a great deal of time, which is not mandated, to make their self-serving statements relative to our great new future Supreme Court justice. Personally, I would pull back, approve, and go for stimulus for the people. That's what he said. Now, the good thing about that is that, yes, President Trump wants stimulus. He just wants the Senate to approve the Supreme Court nominee. Okay? He wants them to just support his decision to approve her. That's it. Pull back. That's what he says. I would pull back, approve, and go for stimulus for the people. So he wants his nominee to be approved, and then he wants stimulus. That's it. Now, the best thing happening in regards to stimulus right now is that President Trump is behind in most recent polls. Now, whether you are for President Trump or you're for Joe Biden doesn't matter. This is not I don't want this to be a political channel. I'm just trying to explain what is going on with the stimulus update. Not politics, stimulus, which politics keeps getting in the way. Right now, okay, being that President Trump is currently behind in most recent polls, this means he is willing to offer more in stimulus and potentially out-offer Nancy Pelosi in her demands. This could be really good. This could be big. Even Larry Kudlow said the other day that yes, we could see a larger package than $2.2 trillion. Steve Mnuchin may offer something larger. Now, will it truly happen? I don't think it would as far as new money. I believe what Steve Mnuchin and what Larry Kudlow was referring to is Steve Mnuchin may offer a larger package. However, once you add in the funding from the previous CARES Act, it's going to bring it down under $2.2 trillion in new money. So we'll see what happens there. Currently, what's going on is Nancy Pelosi is writing letters to her colleagues in the House talking bad about the $1.8 trillion stimulus package that President Trump offered. Well, Mark Meadows and Steve Mnuchin decided to do the same thing. They wrote a letter to Republicans stating how Nancy Pelosi is to blame and that they may need to resort to a different tactic as negotiations just might not work. So, currently, what is happening is Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows are considering only passing standalone bills through the Senate to show the American people that, yes, they are willing to provide relief in a tough time. However, and some people are, you see this all the time on YouTube, see this all the time on social media, see this all the time in the mainstream media, people are saying, yes, we're going to get standalone bills. We're going to see the Senate's going to pass this, the House is going to pass this. But the problem is, this is only going to be for show, as anything that gets passed through the Senate without support from Nancy Pelosi will only pass through the Senate. So it's going to get held up in the House. They will never vote on it, and it will never pass. So right now, what we know is Nancy Pelosi has stated she is completely against a standalone bill, yet she passed a standalone bill through the House a couple months ago for the United States Postal Service in the tune of $25 billion. And she also wasn't opposed to passing a standalone bill for airlines just over a week ago. So she says she's against standalone bills. However, her actions speak otherwise. Now, although all of this sounds bad, I get it. It really isn't that bad. Now, let me explain why. Because it's not that bad in regards to the ultimate stimulus package. Standalone bills aren't going to happen. But the ultimate stimulus package still could. Nancy Pelosi has said for months, okay, she has the same robotic response, day after day after day. And it says something like this. We want to spend the money to crush the virus, support our heroes, and put money in the pockets of the American workers. That is her statement almost every single day. Now, after Nancy Pelosi got the $1.8 trillion stimulus package offer, she had this to say, that state and local government funding was sadly inadequate. They were about $136 billion apart. Money for testing, tracing, and treatment was wholly insufficient. And in that, they were roughly $30 billion apart. And she said she is not happy about still being $200 billion apart on unemployment and providing money to the American workers, putting money in their pockets. These have and will continue to be Nancy Pelosi's issues with any stimulus package. It doesn't matter. Even if the numbers were right, even if President Trump offered $436 billion for state and local government funding, most likely what would be the issue would be the language, would be the way that the money is actually spent. That is going to be a continuing or revolving issue. Just because the money is right, Nancy Pelosi is going to say the language is not right. It's not correct. We need to fix that. We need to address that. So, now, Nancy Pelosi is not the only problem right now. Many people are saying it's all on Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi won't agree to this. Nancy Pelosi won't do this or that. But here's the other issue. The majority of Senate Republicans continue to be a problem. Many Senate Republicans are not going to support another round of stimulus, saying we don't need it. Some are worried a large $1.8 trillion stimulus package would deflate the GOP base right before the election. And also, Senator Rick Scott of Florida said, I don't get it. And that was simply in regards to why we need another stimulus package when the economy seems to be doing just fine. Well, what we know this morning is that Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi will have another phone call. They will discuss this stimulus package, but no deal is anticipated to come from this phone call. I just want to point out, just because Senate Republicans do not support this, or the majority of them do not support this, we only need 13 Senate Republicans to vote yes. Currently, we have about 10 that are on board, so we need about 3 to 4 more to say yes. And I say this because many people are out there saying, okay, this Republican doesn't believe we need another stimulus package, so we're not going to get it. Well, currently, Senate Republicans do not matter. Even Republicans in the House of Representatives really do not matter. The only people that matter right now are Democrats and what they believe is a fair offer. So, until we know exactly what they want, and Nancy Pelosi has said, this is what we need, this is what we want, yet we have Democrats saying, we don't need all that stuff. We do not need this and that. We'd be fine with just unemployment and stimulus checks and rental assistance and food assistance. And, we don't really need that much money for state and local governments. But Nancy Pelosi's on the other line saying, yes, we do. We need it. Because if we don't get it now, it is a missed opportunity. So, again, another political game. Here's what we are expecting to happen. Or what many people are expecting is Nancy Pelosi to show a little bit more of what she is willing to accept, as long as it's under $2.2 trillion. Some are anticipating that Nancy Pelosi still does not want a stimulus package to pass before the election, because this would help out President Trump in more ways than one. So, many are saying she will continue to play this game no matter what. And these are not just regular people. These are people within Congress. There has been a couple Democrats come out and say they wonder if Nancy Pelosi would accept any package at this time. Larry Kudlow said yesterday that Steve Mnuchin could potentially offer more than $2.2 trillion in a stimulus package. But I don't see that happening with much support from the GOP. And right now, they are not very happy. Here's what is going to happen moving forward. First, the Senate is currently in a hearing for Amy Coney Barrett. Based on President Trump's tweet, it's not going very well. I saw pictures, didn't watch anything, but I saw pictures and it looked like they were just doing their normal everyday thing. Now, here's the problem. In the Senate, they have a 2-hour rule that after 2 hours of working, no matter what they do, they could call that 2-hour rule and they'd be done for the day. This is essentially just going to make everything go on and on and on. They can talk about whatever they want. They can pretty much do whatever they need to, and they do not have to address any issue for the day. This is what President Trump was referring to as when he was saying Republicans are letting Democrats speak too much. And they're just talking about, how they feel. They could do that any other day. Now, that is what's currently happening. This is also going to make negotiations much harder, as Nancy Pelosi says, even though Nancy Pelosi says she will not tie the Supreme Court nominee to stimulus checks and the stimulus package. She's already said that. She also said she would not tie the second or the next stimulus package to the continuing resolution. However, they did seem to kind of interact with each other, and it did make things a little bit more difficult. Well, that was for a short time. It did get passed, and we're good to go there. However, we still don't have a stimulus package to rely on and help out the American people. Also, President Trump is back on the campaign trail, and his goal right now, based on reports, is to work on fixing any damage the virus has caused for him. Many people are saying how President Trump handled getting the virus really made it easy to decide who they're going to choose this upcoming election. Will it be President Trump himself, or will it be for Joe Biden? Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi will continue to negotiate. The question is, right now, will we see a stimulus package before the election? Currently, numbers are showing that about 20 to 25% believe we will have a stimulus package before the election. And between 75 and 80% believe no, it will happen after. If it does happen after the election, here's the problem. It will most likely not be the day after. We might not know who our next president is for a while. So just because someone says, oh, it will happen after, the election's only 22 days away, don't worry, it's coming very soon, that's false hope. That is completely false hope, simply because we may not know who the next president is. And if that's the case, then we're not going to have any answers. If President Trump remains in office, well, that's great, but Nancy Pelosi might not really feel like doing much until maybe sometime in January, where maybe we see more Democrats in the Senate. And maybe the House and the Senate are both majority run by Democrats, and we just have President Trump in office. Maybe things are completely different, where the House is still run by Democrats, the Senate is still run by Republicans, and we got Joe Biden in office. We just don't know. There's so many uncertainties right now. But what I know, okay, or when I know more about anything regarding stimulus, I promise I will let you know. Right now, there is so much extra stuff happening, okay, both in Congress, outside, whatever. It is tough to distinguish the positive news versus the false positive news. So, as I know more, I promise I will bring that to you. I'll try to clarify everything that I can, but I just want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys have a great day. Stay safe. Click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.